Big news now from that part of town, from that part of the country, Kogi State specifically, is that once again the People's Democratic Party is in charge. Joining us to look at that particular election, coupled with all that led to that particular victory, is a PDP member and also political scientist, Dr. Isuwa Dogo. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's all smiles for your party.
And congratulations to the greatest party in Africa and probably one of the greatest in the world.
Did you see it coming?
Absolutely. It couldn't have been otherwise.
Well, before we go into that particular result and we'll look at the turnout, some already say, initially the PDP was scared when they saw the ACN with all the chieftains there. That made the president lead another campaign to see if they can do a counter-campaign.
I don't think that is really correct, because the PDP is a grassroots political party. It's organized. The system is there. People are mobilized from the lowest to the highest level possible. It is not the same thing with other political parties. And the PDP is democratically, in such a way that you cannot fault the arrangements, you cannot fault the policies. It's not a one-man show. So the possibility of saying that, look, it is because of X, Y, Z does not arise. It is not the same as you have in ACN or CPC, and the party that is probably has some organizational structures is the NPP. But the PDP is well mobilized at all levels in the country. So the president definitely did the right thing by going there, and the vice president and every other person, the whole leadership of the PDP should have been there, and they were there, and that is the right thing to do. And the PDP couldn't have been scared of any other political party in that place. In fact, as it is now, the PDP cannot be scared of any political party in any part of the country.
Any part, you say?
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, some say that was the feeling and the thinking of the PDP in the last elections, especially within the Southwest, and we saw what that cost the party. But again,
that is why I said now. That time maybe, but now it cannot. And I can tell you...
The president's visit to the state, was that a game changer for the people, or with or without his coming in, they would have gotten it?
PDP would have warned. Because people were already mobilized. But it's a moral booster, and as leader of the party, it is necessary for him to go there to visit the place. You see, the difference between PDP and other political parties is that we do not believe in this so-called political prostitution. Today you are here, tomorrow you are there. Those who contest in other parties are, in most cases, have jammed several parties, and they are like opportunists. So people know that, look, this person has nothing to offer. He's just seeking for self-aggrandizement, that's all. You can't be in ANPP, you have been governor there, for whatever it is. You decamp to this, tomorrow you decamp to another, and next tomorrow you are back to this because you want to be a governor or you want to be a leader. It doesn't work that way. If you believe in a system, stay in the system, fight in the system, repair the system, build the system, and as a politician that, look, not everybody can be a governor. Not everybody can be a leader. So if it happens you do not succeed at that particular time, you have patience, help the person that has succeeded, and build the system. Your own time will come. If it never comes, it shouldn't be that you should actually abandon that party, but continue to give the best that you could. And that is why the PDP is outstanding, and it's different from other political parties.
You speak glowingly about the PDP, especially in Kogi. So remember what happened before this particular election, and they say already it was a divided house for the party.
And they had to move to reconcile
even when you drink water, you can choke. That is, you are in disagreement within yourself, not to talk of people with different views, different ideas. But that doesn't mean that the idea of divided house means that they are going to throw away the chances of the governorship to any other person. No, they can disagree, but when the chips are down, they all come together. When you are trying to get there, everybody has an ambition. And we give that opportunity for people to express their ambition in whatever way possible. But when somebody has finally been chosen, there is nothing else than to come together, close the gaps, bury our differences, and we move on.
You talked about closing the gaps. Now, you must have seen the outcome of that particular. Now, we're talking about the turnout of that particular election. they say it was a very poor turnout, a situation whereby you have over 1 million voters, and at the end of the day, we got just a little over 500.
Well, if you have more than 50%, at least it's a pass. But even if it is poor, it is not. You should know that any election that takes place in most countries, after the major election, you always have that kind of, how do I put it, a low morale. You know, the impetus to make people come out is not as much as when you have the general elections in the country. Any country, it happens.
But anyway, well, we were right there, and we're still very much there in Kogi State. We're there live before the elections, and we're still there. Maybe we just have to take you to this particular report packaged yesterday, just immediately after the release of that particular result. It could give you some kind of background information of what transpired in Kogi governorship elections.
It's an assemblage of the usual: INEC officials, party agents, election observers and journalists. The process begins on a smooth note, returning officers announcing the results from various polling units.
Total valid votes 15053. Rejected votes 1,257.
However, at some point in time, some hitches begin to materialize. Some results are apparently not complete.
INEC will want to know what happened and how you are going to handle it. Yes.
What actually caused this discrepancy was that at online registration area, there was no election. So, fortunately, I did not register the number of, I didn't record the number of registered voters.
Would you go and correct it?
Yes, sir. Okay.
While a party agent vehemently questions the authenticity.
Look at this result from the beginning, from the top of the result down to the end of the result. There were some frictions. And right now I don't have a copy to know really what really happened to all this modulation of the result. I think this shows the incompetency of the joint officer of Ajamuta local government. Party agent, your comment observations are noted.
This is apparently not the venue for treating some of these issues. The primary function of the returning officer, Mr. Shamsuddin Amali, is to announce the eventual winner of the Kogi State governorship election.
Idris Ichala Wada of PDP, having satisfied the requirements of the law and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
It didn't take the Kogi State chapter of the Action Congress of Nigeria time to officially reject the results as announced by INEC.
The results as released by INEC, they are fallacious, malicious, fabricated, totally untrue, and do not represent in any manner the wishes and aspirations of voters as expressed yesterday. I also want to bring to the notice of Nigerians through the press that policemen and women were withdrawn from all polling units, or most 80% polling units in Kogi State yesterday. For example, where I voted, there was no policeman at all. And it is same for most of the polling units in the state. This was deliberate to facilitate the electoral fraud as manifested by the result released this afternoon.
A recourse to the law court appears imminent. But for the time being, it's celebration time for Captain Idris Wada and the People's Democratic Party.
Well, I'm quite sure you got all of that, but again, reactions continue on that particular election, as you did see from the Action Congress of Nigeria, which is the main opposition party in that particular state. But reacting to that from Mr. Malai, he did say, well, You know, these amounts to what they call scientific rigging by your party in that particular elections. And don't forget, he has said that once upon a time as a member of the PDP, he also helped in rigging elections. So maybe, possibly, he knows what he's talking about when he talks about rigging.
Then he is indirectly saying that he went to the ACN to rig. And maybe that is what he concentrated in doing, and maybe he was thinking and trying all his best in how he can rig instead of campaigning and mobilizing the people the way the PDP did. And it is expected that, look, somebody who is a politician and you come out and you make some statements without even knowing the basis of what you are making. It's not the PDP that controls the police and sends the police to wherever they are. The PDP couldn't have said, oh, look, INEC, don't allow policemen, don't allow security agents, don't do this, unless he's saying that, oh, the PDP and INEC are one and the same thing, and therefore gives the INEC directions and instructions as to what to do and how to do it, which is not the case. And if there was none, he could have complained, he could have sent, he could have called, he could have made points so that they send security agents.
Dr. Dogo, don't you think he made such an effort?
He didn't say so. You can't assume for him.
Well, most times we take certain
maybe you are in ACN.
Most times we take certain things for granted. If we say that we're going to do elections, we already know what we expect to see at the polling booth. We expect to see the tables away from the secret place where they actually go to thumbprint. We expect to see the transparent ballot boxes. We expect to see security men there. We expect to see observers, monitors, and all of these things we usually take for granted. So when something, a component as important as security operatives are missing, isn't there cause to be afraid?
An astute, rational, intelligent, articulate politician is not going to take things for granted. You ensure things are there and things are done. For example, in the last elections in my local government, Java local government in Kaduna State, even though we knew that the PDP was the dominant party and there was hardly any other political party, we insisted that security agents must be in every place. We are not just looking at the question of issue of rigging and so forth and so on, but we want peace.
In a place
the very presence of somebody, do you see it, in that place. Look, you know my thinking? I can say, look, because people will vote for PDP, somebody who is in CPC or ACN and other places will want to cause mischief. And so if there is a security man, they are not likely going to do so. So don't assume that, look, security people are not there so that somebody will